This is Earl Netwall, the micro-business specialist with the sixth of our 7-part series on how you can produce an information product that you can either give away or sell to others. In the past, we've talked about the fact that you can write your own, you can record audio, you can record video, and these are 3 things that you do yourself to generate content. You take your own knowledge and you extend it to people in writing, in audio, or in video. Then we talked about public domain and how you can gather information that's in the public domain and republish it and share it with current readers, things that were written back before the 1920s. And where appropriate, this is a fine and effective way of communicating information to people that is potentially of value to them. Then we talked about private label rights and how this is an increasing and powerful source of information that you can use and adapt to your purposes. And I mention adapt because, in my opinion, it's appropriate to take it as raw material and rework it into your own product. But there's nothing that says you can't completely take it in whole cloth and transfer it as your own. I just don't recommend it, and I don't think it's really the most effective way of using it, but it's potentially possible, so I don't want to completely discount that. Then we talked about, today we're going to talk about another approach to creating valuable content in a topic that you may or may not know a lot about, and that's by interviewing experts. I've had some success with this in a wide variety of applications. I remember interviewing Doug Champignon over the phone and using that as a freebie that I gave off to people that visited my link on article writing, which is at www.articlemarketinghint.com. And if you want to go there, I don't believe it's I think it's still posted there, so you might want to check that out. Again, www.articlemarketinghint.com. I believe it's a page now that's up on the upper right-hand corner. You go there, you find that link, and you'll be able to hear an hour-long interview I did with Doug Champignon, who is an expert in article marketing, and he had a great many valuable tips that were valuable to you, that were valuable to me, and it produced a product that I was using as a giveaway. I've sold it. It's just a great way of communicating products. This idea of interviewing experts is open to anyone. It's open to you. All you need to do is to have the gumption to approach an expert and ask. Now, many of them are going to say no. The busiest of them are going to be too busy for you. But you'd be surprised. The vast majority of people, frankly, get a little ego-salving when they are asked to pontificate. We all like to talk about that which we know and understand and share it with other people because it helps bolster our own self-image. And as a result, you as a newbie or an intermediate marketer, if you know of someone in your field that is truly an expert, go after it. Ask them if you can't possibly do an interview and get that information and make it available to your public. It will provide them free publicity. If you allow them to, you can include a link at the end of your presentation, and they can talk about their favorite, whatever their product is, or what their blog is, or how to sign up for their list, or how to buy their product. Whatever it is appropriate, you can allow your interview guest to do a little commercial. In that case, no longer are they just doing you a favor, you are actually helping to market them and their expertise to an audience that they might not otherwise have reached. At the same time, when you're interviewing an expert and you're asking them useful questions that are useful for your audience, you are, in your audience's mind, putting yourself on a relatively equal footing with that expert. If you start talking international policy with Henry Kissinger, people are going to begin to believe that you know a little bit about international politics, even if you know nothing. as long as you are capable of putting together a few good, pertinent questions and carrying on your end of the interview, which is basically one of setting it up and providing the interviewer with a list of questions that you're going to ask in advance so that they're equipped to deal with whatever it is that you're going to be asking. You don't want to throw them a curveball from left field to get them all fuddled and confused, because neither of you look good at that point. So you want to share with your potential interview subject a little bit about what it is that you're going to be talking about so that they're comfortable. And at the end of that process, depending on how you do it, you want to be able to get a transcription of the actual event. And if you were to go to Google and search for transcription services, you'll discover that there's quite a few out there, and they are relatively inexpensive. So it's not that big a deal to go have a recording and transfer that to someone else who will then type it up. Now, my experience with such transcriptions is that the people who are transcribing are talking what they hear, and they don't necessarily check for grammar, and sometimes there's a few inaccuracies. So it's important, once you get that transcription back, that you go through it and edit it. Now, I've seen many of these things that have not been edited, and you can tell, and I prefer to put out a more professional product, and I encourage you to do so too. So when you do get an interview that's been recorded and transcribed, take the time to go back and clean up the transcription so that it flows smoothly, so that the grammar is correct, so that any spelling errors are corrected. And then you're going to end up having two products. You're going to have the video and or audio that you recorded in terms of your interview with your expert, and then you're going to have a written product, the transcription. You can sell or give away one or the other, or combine the both of them, and you have an even more powerful package to share with people. I've used interviews with experts. I've used interviews with peers. One of the ways I do it, most recently I've been involved in a project in which I've been interviewing 13 different internet marketers who have approximate lists of between 1,500 and 10,000. I picked this particular group of people because they have demonstrated their ability to get beyond the get-go and have actually established a list and are making progress in building their internet empire. And I use the 10,000 as kind of an artificial cap to keep it to those people who are still in the emerging stages of their internet career, because they're going to be fresher and more relevant to and more appropriate to my audience, which is primarily beginning and also intermediate internet marketers who are struggling to get over the various hurdles we all experience getting this internet marketing situation set up and producing for us. So those are just a couple examples of how I've used the interview process. You can use it in any niche. If you're into baseball, why not attempt to get some baseball stars or other baseball commentators and interview them? If you're in apple growing, why not identify a couple growers or orchardists in your area and interview them about the issues and diseases and care and cultivation and the preferred species of apples in their particular niche? This is the type of useful information that will appeal to other people in their niche and will resonate with them. And like I say, once you've identified yourself through the interview process with these experts, you will have your own image increased in terms of your perceived knowledge and your perceived relevance in that particular niche. And that, in the final analysis, is going to generate sales and list building for you if you do it properly. This is Earl Netwald, the Micro Business Specialist, and I'd like to encourage you to visit my blog, www.microbusinessspecialist.com/blog, B-L-O-G. The blog part needs to be in lowercase letters. The front half doesn't matter at all. So any way you want to do it, but just make sure you do microbusinessspecialist.com/blog in lowercase letters. Have a great day. Look forward to talking to you next time. And we're going to talk about the 7th of 7 ways to produce an information product, and that is ghostwriting. Ooh, beware. Bye-bye.